On Monday today. We shall start with the scientific explanation about the benefits of meditation. This is our disclaimer. First of all, let us break our current breathing pattern. Because when we break the breathing pattern, those spying 175 neurons, as you know, in the preboard C, in our brainstem, inform our brain's control center that something has been changed. Changing the breathing pattern breaks the flow. And then we are ready to either react or respond to the new situation. So to break the breathing pattern, as we know, is take a few deep breaths slowly. Today we will discuss about the pH level. In our body, we have acids and bases. The pH level is a scale from 0 to 14 to measure the levels of acids and bases. You can see from 0 to 14 here. On number 1 is gastric acid, and on number 13 is a bleach. So as we go further, like 1, 2, 3, 4, ascending order, then it becomes less and less acidic and more alkaline. If you are conscious and functioning around in general health, your pH level would be 7.4. If this level drops to 6.9 or rises beyond 7.8, it becomes incompatible with the life and one is dead. 7.4 is generally for the healthy people. Now this is the pH balance chart. pH means potential of hydrogen. Your body rigorously maintains this optimal level of 7.4, around 7.4. Even if you drink alkaline water with 8 or 9 pH, the hydrochloric acid in the stomach turns it to 7.4 before blood absorbs it. Breathing is the fast controller of the body's pH level through either retention of or elimination of carbon dioxide. When you breathe fast, which would be shallow also, you exhale more carbon dioxide quickly. Carbon dioxide is acidic. So when more carbon dioxide is exhaled, your pH level increases. That means your body becomes more alkaline, going towards 7, 8, 9, towards that number. Simultaneously, when you breathe fast and shallow, even though you inhale more oxygen, because we are taking more breaths in, less oxygen is released to the cells because of the lower level of carbon dioxide in the blood. And we have discussed this matter, I think, a few weeks ago, that body needs carbon dioxide in our bloodstream so hemoglobin can release more oxygen to our cells. Less oxygen means lower metabolism. Metabolism is the process where all cell converts nutrition into energy through various chemical reactions. Metabolism produces acids. Lower metabolism produces less acid. And again, this raises the already alkaline state of body, and therefore our pH level becomes imbalanced. But if you breathe slowly, it will also be deep, as we all know that. Your cells will get more oxygen due to higher level of carbon dioxide in blood because the duration of carbon dioxide in blood will be longer. And because of that, hemoglobin releases all 4 oxygen molecules to the cells. The duration of exhalation will also be longer during slow and deep breathing, which will get rid of acidic carbon dioxide because you are breathing out longer and slower, more carbon dioxide will be out of our bloodstream. So, your cells will get more oxygen and your body will not become acidic too. Hence, the balanced pH level without the need of alkaline water systems. Some people also buy all these very expensive machines like Kangen water and other machines to drink the alkaline water, but it's purely waste of money. They are sold for thousands of dollars and pounds, but we do not need any of alkaline water system to balance our pH level. Whatever pH level you are drinking with, 8, 9, 10, your stomach will turn it to 7.4. Otherwise, your body will not absorb. So just don't waste your money on alkaline water system at all. It's waste of money and time as well. And because you breathe slower and deep, which makes you able to tolerate more carbon dioxide, your chemoreceptors in the brainstem that sense the level of carbon dioxide, oxygen, and pH level reset themselves to tolerate the higher level of carbon dioxide. And then our body gets used to more carbon dioxide in our bloodstream. But that does not mean that we are harming our body. We need carbon dioxide more in our bloodstream to get more oxygen to our tissues and cells. Slow and deep breathing raises the carbon dioxide level in the blood because of less inhalations and exhalations per minute, which nudges the pH level back to a less alkaline state. As the blood's pH level balances, now what this happens? The parasympathetic nervous system calms us by stimulating the vagus nerve to secrete acetylcholine, a neurotransmitter that lowers the heart rate. We have discussed about this vagus nerve last week, and because of the balance of pH level, vagus nerve will be activated, and because of that, acetylcholine, a neurotransmitter, is released, and that lowers our heart rate. Meditation slows down your breathing because of deep and slow breaths. Meditation means to be in the present, in here and in now, focusing on a singular point. Focusing on a singular point, that is meditation, balances our pH level. Meditation balances pH level, increases vagus nerve tone, helps maintaining the length of telomeres that protects the DNA, results in non-judging awareness, positively affects brain's networks, enhances positivity during pregnancy, increases quality sleep, creates alternate circulation pathways and new blood vessels, achieves forced breathing to live longer and healthy, trains 175 neurons in pre-porcine brainstem to adapt the watch and wait policy. Because of that, we do not fight or flight, we rest and digest. It teaches to respond and not to react, and controls release of hormones. We have seen the reasons, scientific reasons behind all these benefits in our previous sessions. And as we know that meditation is not a religious practice, it's all about to seize the moment. It's all about you. It's all about you to be in here and in now. No past impressions and no future anxieties. Just the present. Because we only live in the present. The past is gone and the future only arrives as the present. Now, as we know, we have 1,440 minutes a day. Spending just 10 minutes a day for meditation biologically increases our gray matter in our brain, and that is scientifically proven through MRI scans. We can do it anywhere and anytime. Now let us practice the meditation. Sit or lie in a comfortable position, close your eyes, interlock your fingers, and focus your mind at your nostrils when you breathe in and breathe out. Do not roll your eyeballs towards nostrils, otherwise it will give you a headache. Keep observing your breath going in and coming out at nostrils. And if your mind wanders somewhere, bring it back to your nostrils to observe your breaths. Do not try to breathe deep, breathe naturally. Your breathing will automatically slow down, and keep observing your breaths. 1 minute left. And 8, 6, 4, 2, come out of meditation slowly. God's glimpse through sound, smell, sex, touch, and taste. From Sakshi Upanishad. We all have the glimpse of God at some point in our life. When I say God, I do not mean any figure or someone sitting up there on a throne. God means the absolute, your reality, your real self. Have you ever experienced any of these? When you heard a beautiful tune, you forgot everything and started humming. When you are eating and have lost yourself in the taste of food, you have suddenly started sniffing around because of some delicious smell. You had an itch or a boil was healing, and you had a sweet itch, and you had continued itching. You are having sex, and when you reached the climax, every single cell of your body was focused on that moment. That's the glimpse of God through your senses. Seize that moment and you will be realized. You might have wondered why I have quoted these such mundane examples, which actually do not give any message as such, superficially actually. But why it could be or it is the glimpse of God through your senses. When you are engrossed in whatever you do, it dissolves your ego. You forget your status and self, surroundings and circumstances. It takes you beyond space and time. Now just think them over, the examples I have given. During those times, we forget our status or self, or surroundings, or circumstances, because we are engrossed in whatever activities we are doing. And that takes you beyond space and time. You forget everything, even yourself. Consider everything holy. Consider every thought holy. Consider as it is. Do not corrupt it with your culture. Immerse yourself in whatever you do. Do not divide yourself by not giving your undivided attention to your doings. Do it wholeheartedly. Engage in the act wholly. Engross yourself totally. By engulfing yourself thoroughly, you will lose yourself. You will be one with the action. You will be one with the thought. And that's how you will be one with existence. It is a paradox. When you wholly engage yourself with anything, you will be detached from everything. Because you are being one in the present, in here and in now. So you become one. The duality vanishes. You will witness your real self in that moment. If you want to experience the absolute existence, do not split your existence. This was from the Sakshi Upanishad. Sometimes what happens that when we are fully engaged in doing something, no matter whatever we are doing, it is not our action that counts. It's our intention or how we do it that counts. In hot countries, you might have experienced this kind of events. A few years back, quite a few years back, we were traveling among villages in India. It was too hot and visiting nearly all the households in the village to spread the word of righteousness or satsang as such when I was a monk. We used to travel by tractor trolleys or sitting on the cover of the engines of the local state transport buses. It was too hot. So when we reached our destiny, there were a few buckets of water, simple plain water from the well. I took one bucket, poured it on my head. You must have experienced this kind of events in your life as well. At that moment, when you are absolutely engrossed with what you are doing, that coolness of water, it will remain, it will pierce through your body, and it will remain with you forever because your entire existence was there on that moment, on that singular point of cold water running over your head in the hot weather. So when we are actually absolutely engulfed or engrossed in whatever we do. At that moment, through our senses, all our senses are cognitive senses. We get some kind of knowledge or information from our senses. And at that moment, if we are there, we forget everything. We forget ourselves, our status, our ego, even if you are a king or a queen. But if you have an itch, you will forget the surroundings, because that is a very little, for a tiny moment, is how you forget yourself. And when we forget ourselves, when we lose ourselves, then only we are able to find ourselves. As Buddha said that when he left all the kingdom, he did not have to leave anything. Just lose yourself to find yourself. And through our senses, so whatever we are doing, if we are eating, drinking, walking, reading, writing, sleeping, whatever we are doing, regardless, that moment, if we seize that moment, from that moment, one can become realized. There was a devotee in India, you might have heard her name, Mirabai or Mira, who was the queen of Chittorgarh or Rajasthan, one of the area of Rajasthan. Her husband passed away and her brother-in-law wanted to marry her. And she wanted to just be with Krishna. And she left, she ran away from her kingdom, settled near in Dwarika in Gujarat. In Dwarika, there is a big temple of Sri Krishna, established by Shankaracharya. And when she heard that her brother-in-law is coming here or there, and she or he will actually capture her. So she left the house, started to run towards this Krishna's temple. She was the queen. Throughout all these streets, when she reached near the temple, she was so engrossed in the thought of Krishna, she forgot everything. Her clothes, her garment were here and there. And within few seconds, it is said that she was merged in the idol of Krishna. She disappeared. Now, if we have that much intensity of whatever we are doing, then we can know, we can be realized, and we can know our absolute self. All this is nothing but God, or nothing but you, or nothing but me. But because we do not stay in the present, we do not stay in here and now, in this moment, that's why it takes so much time. Otherwise, we must, if we actually forget the past, if we did not worry about the future, then we will always be in the present. And when we are in the present, doing whatever we are doing, regardless, that is the moment for the realization. Ashtavakra was a rishi, and he said that all the happenings in your life are obliged to your destiny. This is the principle of karma. No matter what you think about the future, No matter how much you repent or regret about your past, whatever is bound to happen will happen. That's the principle of karma, and no one can change it. No one is able to change it because it is that way. So all the happenings in our life are obliged to our destiny. And if we knew about this karma principle, then we will not be worrying about the future, and we will not be actually reliving the past. Past is gone, future never comes. We are always in the present. And that's the way to realize our absolute self. Thank you very much. Now, if anyone wants to please share their wisdom or experience, please unmute yourself.
Yes, Madhvi, kindly go ahead. Yeah.
No, Ram, go ahead. You go ahead.
You are first. Please go ahead.
Thank you so much, sir. Once again, it was a very, very beautiful presentation, and every word, every sentence which you have taken was really absolutely true. What some of them I was really experiencing when I was in Mathura actually, and especially when you said that I joined a bit late, but I could see only those last few slides. But when you said that when you are eating and then you are with that food and you are like completely in it and you see the God in it, that's kind of a statement which you have just now explained it. It is so true. I want to tell my experience in the Mathura, because we as a South Indians, I was there and it was 5 days, there was no rice actually. And it was so hard. And I was just literally praying, my Lord, I just need little rice, please. I can't stay without this rice. And then I happened to go to the Lord Venkateshwara temple there. And then in the morning, I got such a big pongal rice. And that time, just imagine that prasadam was also not like this much, but it's like really a big bowl of, I mean, really, really big ball of that. That moment, I really felt it. Oh my God, this is the wonderful thing which I ever happened to me. And especially, and that moment, I really felt it. The God is not over there. The God was in my food, which made me so happy. And then I thought that, this is the best moment I ever had in life, because after 5 days, it was totally gone. We were so crazy without having only chapatis. I mean, I do like chapatis. I love chapatis, but you know, we South Indians, it's like a staple food for us, and it completes us actually when we have little bit, and that was missing. So really, thank you so much, sir. Yeah, once again. In case if you can share this presentation, I would love to read it again. Would
I
be
will
nice.
post it on the family, team family too. Yeah. Or send it to Madhuji or Ramesh so they can
Yes.
actually post it to some other groups as well. You are right that it is not the actions or what we do, but is how we do. Whatever we do doesn't count, but the way we do is most important. The intention, we say intention is better than action. So, and in spirituality, there is no right, there is no wrong, there is no good, there is no bad. And all these things like goodness or badness or right or wrong, they all are situational and circumstantial. It changes. For example, very simple example, in Upanishadic time, there was no marriage. Nowadays, then after marriage was so much fixed and confirmed, and nowadays again is slowly is being changed now. So in all the activities of human beings, it is not the actions, but the intention, how we do it, that counts. So you are right. Whether it's a bowl of rice or sitting under the tree for meditation or doing whatever, one can be realized from any action, but with the right intention of having the singular mind, singular focus on that singular point.
It was very, very beautiful session, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Ramesh ji?
Yes, Vijayji. So, with all the scientific information that you gave today about pH, that was very interesting. I was also pretty much close to purchase few years ago this Kangen water about this pH thing, but somehow I dropped the idea. But then today, listening to the fact that our breath is enough to balance our pH, and the fact that whatever alkaline water you take, in the end, our stomach is making it to 7.4. That was an interesting fact. I never knew about this earlier. So thanks for all the information that you shared about breath and meditation, what it is doing to each one of us. So thank you for that. And coming to the wisdom sharing part, it's very interesting as you shared your example that that experience of cold water that you had, and merging into that moment. I realized my own personal experience I had once when I was probably 13 years, 12, 13 years. And it was in a singing competition. And I was there on the stage. The moment I was in front of the mic and started singing, I completely dissolved. I do not know even till now what happened those 5-6 minutes. The only thing I then remembered was people clapping. So that moment, I still remember I experienced something I cannot explain. So I can relate to what you said, that you merged into, or, into that moment of having that cold water. So yes, these moments truly are so beautiful, so beautiful. So yes, connecting to those moments, experiencing God through our senses is very interesting. So thank you. Thanks a lot, Vijayji.
Thank you very much. Sumati ji.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Thank you, G, so much for a wonderful, wonderful meditation and wisdom sharing. And yes, I've always believed that it's not the frequency or the quantity or the amount of thought and action that creates the reality or practicality, but the intentions. So it's really sort of reinforced, and it also makes me reflect why sometimes certain things happens and certain things does not. Since we're in the duality concept, there's a reason for everything. But ultimately, it boils down to us and the intention. So the intensity of the intention is what really creates the reality. So yeah, thank you, Jane. I guess it puts a lot of things for, a lot of them into perspective, because I believed in that. So we can now, those who do not know about this concept, can now realize and reflect and think it's about ultimately quality over quantity. So even if you're doing a charity or whatever, it's not about how much you're doing, it's the intensity that matters, which is directly proportionate to the intensity you put in is from your intention. Thank you, Ji. And one more thing I wanted to ask you, it's just out of my more probing about this aspect. I am aware that everything is man-made, especially coming into this meditation pathway. But I'd like to know more about what you've just said about those days. Obviously marriage was not there, and then the concept of marriage was created, and now that's moving away. Can you please share some wisdom on that, please? Thank you, Ji.
In Upanishad times, the marriage as we know now was not there. And the very reason about that is that civilization was so actually progressed and believed that no one should be no one's slave. And no one should be actually dictating other what to do. Because every human being is a free person, especially when human being becomes an adult. No one has right to actually make that adult a slave or force her or him to do whatever other person wanted to do. There was a story in Mahabharata. You must have heard the name of Rishi Aruni. That Aruni Rishi, his son was Shvetketu. Shvetketu was only about 12 years old, and a stranger actually was moving away out of their house, and his mother and his father both were sitting there. A stranger approached her mother and asked her to go with him. Her mother liked that man and she actually went with him. She came back after 3-4 days. Shvetketu asked his father, why did you actually allow mother to go with that man? And at that time, Aruni Rishi said, it is Go Dharma. Go Dharma means its attributes of senses. Go means senses, Indriya. And I should not be actually forcing anyone to do or not to do. Shvetketu did not like the idea. He was only 12. Then he went to Gurukul. After 12 years, he decided to actually start a movement of marriage. And since then, marriage was gradually coming into the after Upanishadic society. Until then, there was no marriage. Anyone could live with anybody. Anyone can leave anybody. A child always remains with mother. And when we say, some people would say that in India there was suppression of women. But if you go back to Upanishad and Vedic time, in Rig Veda, there are 80 rishis or 80 seers who have actually given us the mantras or shrutis. Out of those 80 rishis, 26 were women. Rest of the 54 rishis, out of those 54 rishis, 42 were known by the names of their mothers, not by fathers. So child always remained with their mothers. And afterwards, Shvetketu decided to run this movement, and he gathered pace and from the Upanishadic time to the Mahabharata time, gradually the marriage system was established in the Indian subcontinent. And that is why when during Mahabharata time it was ending, only the top level people like the kingdoms or kings and queens or noble families, they was still following the system of not marrying just one man or one woman. And that is the reason Draupadi married 5 brothers. We always actually hear the story that Arjun came to his house and knocked on the door, and Kunti said, "Who is that?" Arjun said, "I am Arjun and I got something." And Kunti Mata said, "Fine, then whatever you have brought, share among all your brothers." And that's how Draupadi got married to 5 brothers. This is the story we always actually hear from other people, but it was not like that. At that time, even in noble families, any woman can marry number of men, and live with number of men, and any man could live with number of women without any kind of enslaving of each other. And after that, gradually, the system died away. And in Atharva Veda, the Vedic, we say Vedic mantras, but it was all the mantras were added afterwards about the marriage, about Saptapadi, the 7 steps. And then from that point, to establish the marriage system, the idea of Pitris, idea of doing something after the departed ones, idea of even Narak was created in Indian subcontinent. In Rig Veda, in Vedas, and in Upanishad, there are no mention of Narak or hell or even heaven. And when they are mentioned, they're only meant for kind of a higher kind of evolutionary people. Like we say, alien people today, who are more intelligent than Homo sapiens. But the idea of hell and heaven was created to establish the marriage institution, because if your son does not do any charity and other rituals, then your soul will not be emancipated, will not be liberated. Those kind of words were spoken, and after that, the marriage institution became very firm in Indian subcontinent, and then again spread everywhere else. So these kind of things, they always keep changing. And it doesn't have anything to do with this spirituality. And that is why in Upanishad, you will never find a single instance about any sadhana as such. Sadhana means you do penance, or you do something, you torture your body, you torture your mind. They always talk about Brahma, the ultimate, the absolute, and nothing else. Just one single thought. You are that. Aham Brahmasmi, I am that Brahma. Tattvamasi, you are that. So this was a brief explanation about this marriage institution.
Thank you, Ji. So coming back to that, so if you look at the Western world, that is what they are practicing. So there's many of them would not even get married, and they have the kids, and it's acceptable. So a lot of man-made things have just been induced within our community. So you have pros and cons in it, isn't it? So when we come to the Western world, we have a lot of cultural shock. Sometimes we feel you need to have certain structure. What are your thoughts on that, please?
All about the understanding of human nature and human beings. Since this was established, and all the intention or the emphasis was actually given on man. And from there onwards, what happened? How do you actually cement this new movement? So there were two things there. It gives some luxury, rest to female. And second thing, just praise them. And third thing, make them dependent. The suppression of women started from there on. And you can see that afterwards, men still actually used to get married to more than one woman. But women were restricted. Now, people would say that if we followed this kind of things, then there would be a chaos in the society. And there would be, what about the future of a child or children? Up to Upanishadic time, there was no chaos in society. Because when we believe that everyone is free to do whatever they want to do, and no one is anyone's slave, that is actually so much higher understanding of human being. And all these vices are created because someone wants to actually make other people slaves. Whether it could be in the society, whether it could be in the relationship of king and the population or the people, or even between guru and disciples, master and disciple. Now, if we believe in the absolute, there is no other. So no one is no one's slave. There would be a chaos, obviously, because when something is shifting from one to other idea, then there would be, for time being, there would be some kind of chaos. The system will actually manage it. And obviously, for that, people would need to have the better understanding of human being, that you cannot make anybody your slave. Willingly, with willingness is different thing. But under the name of God, or in the name of God, by the name of God, by the name of the rituals, or the societies and norms and culture and civilizations and laws and rules, it is not right. But gradually, for that, in the Western world, people just started doing it gradually. After 1950s and 60s, after that hippie culture, they started doing those things gradually. Nowadays in the UK, there are only 42% people who are married. 58% people are not married or living together without without marriage. 50 years back, anybody born out of wedlock was a sinner. So time changes, idea will change as we actually progress further spiritually or even thought-wise. Everything will change, and between those in between time, the buffering time, there could be some kind of chaos.
Thank you, Ji. Thank you so much for the enlightenment. Thank you.
You are welcome. Okay, Ramesh, now shall we conclude this session? If you please.
Yes, Vijayji. So thanks a lot again for these beautiful sharings we are having every Monday. Thanks for your time and all the wisdom you keep sharing. And thanks everyone for joining and being part of these wonderful 1 hour, 1.5 hour time we spent together. And with these friends, we end the session and we connect back tomorrow morning, 6 a.m. Germany time for a meditation. Thank you, and I wish you all wonderful time. Namaste.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.